Hey, what's happening, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of my podcast, Hungry and Ambitious. Today, I'm with my good friend Ricky Gutierrez, the founder of Techbud Solutions. Ricky's a young entrepreneur who's impacting thousands and thousands and soon to be millions of lives all around the world. He's also a venture capitalist who's very passionate about exotic cars. He's also a day trader and a real estate investor who owns multiple real estate properties, and he teaches people how to trade stocks online. So today we'll be talking about what led to his success and sharing his story as well at a very young age of 22 years old.
Yeah.
Right. So you've probably seen his videos and his content on YouTube. How many subscribers do you have now?
I think I have 74,000.
74,000. Wow. Okay. And how long did it, take to get there?
Well, I was at 1,000 the beginning of this year. So as of January, I was at 1,000.
Right.
But to get to that 1,000 mark, it took me like 6 months. So that took a really long time. And then, it just started building up. I started uploading daily, and I don't know, it kind of just started picking up.
Just like the dominoes effect, right?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
definitely.
So stay consistent and be
100%,
persistent.
yeah.
I think
that's
definitely.
one of the biggest things, yeah.
Okay, so for those who are not familiar with Techbud Solutions, do you mind just explaining what Techbud Solutions is and how you founded the idea?
Yeah, so Techbud Solutions, it's a free networking group. So I found that when I bought my first house, I bought it when I was 20, and then I bought my dream car, the Nissan GTR, at age 21.
Okay.
It was around like February and March that I felt like very discouraged with where I was in life, just because I noticed that my house and my car did not bring me happiness, and I wanted to continue this kind of ongoing motivation.
Right.
But after getting to that point, I kind of lacked motivation because I was so discouraged on like, wow, I thought I was going to be so happy at this point in my life. So I started messaging, kind of gathering people that were in my similar shoes that saw like small forms of success, and we would jump on a weekly call.
Gotcha.
And then that's how the idea started. And from that point forward, it went from 6 people to 12 people the following week, and then from 12 to 20, then from 20 to 40, and then it went to 100 people that we couldn't do calls anymore. And we just started the group. It's Techbud Solutions, and
Right.
it was just to surround yourself with people that were like-minded, that wanted to, pursue or achieve some form of success in
Right.
a specific market. And all we did was, we made it free. We made it accessible for everyone. We shared best practices. We shared mistakes in effort to promote like growth. Right. I think one of the biggest drawbacks when someone wants to be successful is they either don't know how to get started or they don't know that market even exists. So
Okay.
if we can provide a platform that's free and accessible, that provides that structure and that exposure that's free, then I think that can really help the people and the masses. And with that simple idea, I started uploading daily videos with like the sole idea of kind of just sharing my experience of investing in the stock market. Right, I wouldn't tell people where to buy or where to sell. I would just simply talk about my approach and what has led to my success and my failures as well.
Gotcha.
And then from there, it really started picking up. Like trading is like the core of Techbud Solutions. But now, as you know, like with what it is that I do, I invest in real estate. We, have a series of different companies. We buy and resell cars, and now we have different group leaders such as like cryptocurrency, forex, binary options, digital marketing. My goal is to provide every market that you can do behind a computer or that someone wants to pursue.
Gotcha.
To have a guru that leads that market and making it accessible for everyone. That would be my overall goal, and to just provide quality information for the masses, because I think, again, the biggest issue is people don't know that a market exists, and if you don't know that it exists, then you can't be successful in it.
Right.
Or they don't know how to pursue it. So I think with providing that break of barrier, then I think more people will experience some form of success in those markets.
Right, definitely. And I like the fact that you don't tell people where to trade or you don't tell people where to buy in. I think that's huge. That's critical as well, because I remember when I first started investing, I invested based on someone else's opinion. Because I don't know if you remember Zach.
Yeah.
So he was like, dude, we met up right at Champion Sports Complex, and he was like, yeah, dude, I got my money in the stock. It's gonna go up, blah blah blah. And I didn't want to study. I didn't want to learn. I just strictly wanted to make money. And so because of that mistake, I lost money and I got a little bit discouraged. It wasn't much. It was like $300, but
and that's still a lot of money. I think.
Yeah.
some people get upset. It's like, Ricky, why don't you tell me what to trade? And I think one of the biggest things is, if you want to be successful in any market, if you're told what to do, you will not have that foundation to be able to do it, consistently by yourself.
Right.
So I work extra hard to make sure that people understand what the foundation is needed to, be built. So therefore they can build their own scanner, so they can find good quality stocks, so they can, build their own eye for value, so they know how to identify a good buy or a good sell. But it takes a lot of work to get there. But because the market is so accessible, like, you can fund your Robinhood account or your TD Ameritrade or Fidelity account right now, and you can trade in the stock market on Monday.
Oh wow.
And that accessibility just is like, okay, well, Ricky, you trade with $5,000 per position. I have $5,000. Let me just duplicate every trade that you do, and I'll make it the same as you can. Yes, I understand that, but I'm much more experienced with, I can get in and get out in a matter of seconds, that I won't be notifying people. And with that being said, you can be left in the dark. The stock pulls back and you lose $300, right? So
like me.
yeah, and it's all part of the game. I did the same thing when I first started, but I think providing that foundation for people and just making it aware that you shouldn't be trading based on other people's opinion. You should not be investing based on stocks you don't understand. And then you should always have a plan when investing. Those are our three very simple rules, and they're one of the rules that are most commonly broken. That's why there's that huge divide between 90% of the market that doesn't see success and 10% that does. It's those 10% are doing something that a lot of people aren't. So yeah.
Right, and it's all about building that discipline, building those habits too as well, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So man, at what age did you get into entrepreneurship, or when did you realize that, hey, entrepreneurship is something that I definitely want to pursue, something I'm really passionate about?
Yeah, so I'm sure you remember. It was when I was 14. I'm pretty sure it was 14 or leading up to when I was 15.
Right.
Remember the little fingerboards, right?
The tech decks, yeah. Dude, we used to hang out at this park for like every single week.
I know.
Yeah, back in the day.
So we actually went to I went to elementary school.
At times, yeah. Went to the same elementary school together, just right in front of us.
Yeah, and one of the first ventures that I started was I started like a little company, and I would make little wooden fingerboards. And there was like this market and this like huge company called flat face fingerboards. They're like the biggest thing, right? There was a little kid or a teenager that made it and made it to a multi-million-dollar company.
Really?
And then I was just like, wow, I think we can do this. And it was me, Tanner. I don't know if you remember Tanner, the one that
Tanner.
Tanner. He didn't go to school with us, but he went to like El Dorado for high school. I don't know if you remember.
If I see his face, then I'll probably recognize who he is. Yeah.
Tanner, and then Adam and Tyler.
Tyler,
we all started the idea together.
Really? Okay.
But again, one of the biggest factors is consistency, and no one was consistent enough to lead up to what I was doing. And I didn't do anything. Like, they came up with we all came up with the idea and the name and stuff like that. I just continued to go for it. Like, I bought the veneer, I made the molds, I was asking people what they liked and what they didn't like, and they just came up with the idea and they didn't act upon it. I think that's one of the biggest kind of separations from those that do see success and those that don't. Is like, so many people have such amazing ideas, and even if it's the smallest idea, it's that spark, it's that start of what I started at 14 that I think really acted as a catalyst for where it is that I am now. It's just because I had an idea and I didn't let the idea kind of die out, and I've done that before. And one of the things is I just wanted to pursue it, and everything it is that I've done now, regardless of how far-fetched the idea might be, I will use my resources or the people that I have access to try to make it happen. If it the Techbud Solutions application, us establishing a dealership, owning a series of investment properties, like, this is not something I would say like a normal or a traditional 22-year-old would be doing.
Not at all.
It doesn't mean that it's not possible, and it just means that you might have to work extra hard in the beginning. But once I have that structure now, let's say you want to buy a series of properties, I kind of have a set system on what I follow, and you're like, hey Ricky, what would you suggest? Well, look, this is what I've done and what has led to my success. And that's one of the biggest things. Like, if you have an idea for a business, or you have an idea for even the smallest kind of service that you can provide for someone, and you're starting at a young age, or even if you're 80, whatever the case may be, it's all about taking action. That separates a real entrepreneur and someone just like everyone else. Everyone has ideas.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's those risk takers that I think can that take the leap and make a difference. So yeah, I when I started at 14, I just started it, and Tyler, after he saw how well I was doing, and he was the one that was so actively involved.
Right.
He started his own company after me.
Tyler Paulson?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then,
Tyler.
but again, and then it ended up like kind of dying out. He would stop, and then he would come back, and his quality, like his style and stuff like that, was better than mine. But you know, he would not be consistent with it, or a lot of people wouldn't be consistent with it. Like, we'd see companies come and go, and that was great because, you know, we were always there, and we were always bringing like new products and types of, you know, like little features, like
like little tweaks in here and there.
Yeah,
there you go.
That
nice.
were good. So yeah, I did that for about 2 to 3 years, and then like from that point forward, when I was like, you know, making the fingerboards, my parents opened me a paper trading account, or what's it called, a custodial account.
Okay.
And then with that custodial account, I started trading with $3,500, and I pretty much lost it all. But that's how everything started.
So custodial, that's real money, right? It's not paper money.
Correct. Yeah. So you're just underage, so your parents have to give you permission.
Gotcha.
So like Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, and all these bigger brokerages offer that option. But yeah, I started with that, and again, the same simple mistakes. I would go on forums, and I would trade with other people who were trading, and it was not healthy. And then I went back to simulation trading, and then built my habits and my best practices, and then I went back to real money, and then kind of started breaking even, and then really started to refine everything, trade with more money, and then that's when I started making a decent amount on top of what it was I was already making. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you started out trading with real money. You lost it all. So did you go back to studying and learning from YouTube videos, or did you have, like, you know, your group of friends, or did you reach out to people online or people that you know to get better and to improve your trading game?
One of the things that I wish I would have done at a much earlier age before I started is to start with simulation trading. I feel like if I were to go back, I would have not invested the $3,500, and I would have done simulation trading, and I would have wanted to learn first before I would have placed my first trade. Again, just because you have access to the market doesn't mean that you should be investing in it, right? So with that being said, I did go back to simulation trading. I was working on just trying to see the same mistakes that I was like making, and then I was writing them down. So I saw that every time that I would trade stocks that were less than 10 cents, I would do really bad or really good. And the really bads were like, they exceeded the really good ones. So I stopped trading stocks that were less than 10 cents, and then it moved up to 50 cents. But altogether, I kind of built, like, you know, my style of trading. I was more of a technical trader, and I didn't hold penny stocks overnight, and just these little best practices that I gathered throughout the year. And YouTube videos back then were super boring. Like, there's a lot of people that make YouTube videos about, you know, if you search up penny stocks, I'm the first person that pops up.
Nice.
And I feel like my videos are at least somewhat more entertaining.
Of
there was like a bunch of like old men, nothing wrong with that, but they're very monotone, and I know I'm monotone, but man, those videos were horrible, and kind of, I would fall asleep watching, I mean, like at night, like I would play those videos and I would fall asleep to them. And it was just because I always wanted to learn how to do it successfully, and you know, I would test the waters and make mistakes, and yeah, it was a quick back and forth, right? And after a matter of time, you know, I started being a little bit more consistent, started breaking even, and then that's when I was like, wow, I think I'm getting this. And then I started going in heavier with my positions, and then that's when I started making profits on a more consistent basis. So,
okay, gotcha. Yeah. And so from that point on, that's when you decided that, hey, I want to teach people doing this, right?
No, my thing was never to teach people.
Really?
I started
making
videos just because I also wanted to grow as a trader. Like, yes, I was doing fine for myself, but I started making videos just so I can build a small community of traders that I've always wanted that, and it was so difficult. Like, I talked about it in one of my videos where there's this app at ASU that's called Devil to Devil, and it allows you, so when you're like a new student at ASU, they provide you this application where you can network or meet new students, usually transfer students. That's how I met my roommate Phil. My description or my bio was like, hi, my name is Ricky Gutierrez. I'm a 20-year-old entrepreneur, and I'm interested in meeting like programmers and investors or something like that. And it was just like, that's obviously not the best bio to like meet girls or anything like that. So with that being said, like I really, you know, just wanted to surround myself with people that were investing in the same markets, or markets, I love the idea of programming, and I wanted to surround myself with those kinds of people. So that's why I kind of made my world or my life revolve around that specific market. And I think that's what, once I met a good group of people that were able to assist me, or be a part of my, my closed group that really, acted as a catalyst for my success, then that's when I was like, okay, look, I'm good. And but yeah, never was my idea to teach people how to trade. It was more, let me surround myself with people that have similar interests, because I felt like that was the best way to grow and to excel in any market, because I felt like they can teach me something new about other things that don't really have to do with trading, but maybe I don't know, another market. And yeah, it started picking up. People really thought that, really enjoyed the idea of how simple I made things to sound. And yeah, I swear, I never thought, it wasn't until like last year, like when I hit that 1,000 or a little bit before that, that I was like, wow, like people really are catching on to, or really enjoy my videos when it comes down to, not only would I make videos about, trading stocks, but I would talk about, buying my first house at age 20, and people found it very simple. Okay. I was like, I'm no teacher, but it was just super cool to be able to receive that feedback. Yeah, so you just wanted to share your story with the world, share your values and, what you learned. And then obviously people were attracted to it, right? And then from then you've gained such a huge following now. How does it make you feel that you're impacting, you're making a positive influence on thousands and thousands of lives every single day? Dude, it's so weird. Like the whole social media thing is, I'm kind of starting to get used to it a little bit more now, but I did not start any of this to like teach people or to think that I was actually going to gain a following for like investing. Like I swear, like it was just I was making videos because I kind of enjoyed editing. I was making a lot of car videos, and I don't know, it just I wanted to surround myself with people that had the same aspirations as me, and that's what really motivated me to like make these videos and to create this group. And from that point, there was different pivots along the way that led me to establish a more credible group like Techbud Solutions, establish these like different partnerships and these different businesses. And I think it's so amazing that every day now I probably receive like 75 to 100 messages, either through Instagram, email, and then like our Facebook platform and stuff like that, not including our private group chat because that's what it's for. But I received a series of messages saying like, thank you so much for creating this group and for going out of your way and making this like all possible. And it's now becoming a little bit more like, I hear it so often. It's like I don't want to say that I'm used to it, but we've heard it time after time that it's just so amazing to see that I'm able to impact so many people. Like if I'm not mistaken, on my YouTube every 28 days I generate 4.1 million watch minutes every 28 days. So for people to dedicate that much time to watching my videos and all the videos that I have out there, I feel like time is money, and my time is very important, and I only invested in things that I see value in, and therefore for people to invest 4.1 million watch minutes. It was like almost like 6-7 months ago. I did the math on like how much I generate in watch time in 28 days, and it's more than I have lived. So I can only imagine.
That's insane.
So I've created something that is lasting longer, and people are spending more time than what I've actually lived. And it's because I've developed something for the masses, and that just shows you how powerful kind of like social media can be. And now I surround myself with people that share the same aspirations in a more established format. And just like I told you, like the different partnerships and the different kind of things that we have coming up. If you asked me a year ago if that was anything that I was planning for, no, I was just trying to work every day as hard as I could and surround myself with people that I wanted to work with.
Definitely. And thank you for taking your time to do this, by the way, because I know your time's super valuable. So on that note, what else are you currently doing besides trading stocks, making content on YouTube, sharing your story?
My biggest thing, my biggest goal always has been like Techbuds and making it accessible for the masses. So now we're working with a series of developers and programmers to develop this application so it's available in all the different app stores, and actually have it where it's not just this established group chat that has 60,000 people using it, but more of I want hundreds of thousands of, if not millions of people to be able to use this application where we have set features and set just like resources within this app that will allow people that invest in the stock market to communicate in a more effective way. The same with, we are developing certain like widgets and features within like subgroups like real estate, forex, buying and reselling, Amazon, online sales, digital marketing, and we have a guru for each one of them, and each one of them is working with a developer that will come up with widgets or features that make it easier or more efficient for people to communicate with one another. So that's my overall goal. I would like by 1 year to have that fully established and set, and that would be, I mean, when that would be my biggest goal. Other than that, I have my properties and the series of properties I'm still working on buying. So hopefully by next year I can have 8 more. That's kind of the plan that we have set up, and I have my different partnerships and different businesses that are going on, and just trying to have fun along the way, but really trying to provide solutions and services for people that I think that provide a lot of value, and I want to provide it for the masses, and that's kind of my goal.
Gotcha. Wow, that's awesome. Because for me personally, from watching your videos and content, you just open up my views to other opportunities out there, and just seeing that it's possible. So I think that's extremely valuable what you're doing too, because there are millions and billions of people out there who might be, who might have an idea, but they're not executing it. And you're the epitome of it right now, right? You're just sharing your journey, documenting your progress with the world.
Definitely, and there's like this small little kind of thing that I was doing for a couple weeks, but I ended up falling out of it. But it was like, I started it this year, and it was when I had like the Z06, and I was making a video every Sunday of like the making of the millionaire and me leading up to being able to make 7 figures and stuff like that. And my goal was to make it by like age 25 and stuff, and I think by like next year, like I should be at that point where like
that's exciting,
so
man.
It's not just like millionaire. Like I think I might be at that point where like my assets all together, I don't know how that is like labeled. I think my assets all together I think do exceed $1 million, but when it comes down to making $1 million a year, that was the goal that I had. And I think by this time next year, I should be at that point where. And it's super crazy. It's
I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Last year,
that's huge.
Last year I broke 6 figures for the first year.
Oh wow!
It's a huge catalyst that has been impacting my life, that I think really allowed me to do this. But it's I don't want to say that it's not about the money. Obviously, the money is like a good motivation.
Absolutely.
But realistically, I think I feel like I'm someone that with every dollar that I have, I reinvest it into a different, product or service that I think can provide value for people. And that's my whole idea. Like, when I was making, a little bit over 6 figures, like, I would get everything that I have and invest it, like almost go all in on like, my cars to flip, or my houses that I would buy to, rent out and stuff like that. And now with where I'm at today, like now I'm doing it with like, I'm investing in programmers, I'm investing in like this development team, I'm investing in just different products and services that I really hope, not hope, but that I'm planning on, that could even make it that much greater, because $1 million is nice, but I think there's something much greater that we can all achieve, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. So
that's awesome, man. So you're 22 years old. You going to school full time at ASU?
Okay, so I took this semester off, and I'm taking next semester off as well. So I will be going back fall of 2018. But yeah, I have 1 year left.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so 22 years old, finishing college next year. He has all these crazy ventures on his plate, and now he's providing massive values to the world, right? Is there like any advice, any tips that you want to share with someone who's looking to get started, or who's looking to execute the ideas, or just don't know where to go or don't know what to do?
I think one of the biggest things that everyone wants a set step-by-step plan on how to be successful in a specific market, which is great. And I think one of the biggest things that someone should ask themselves is like, what is it that you're okay doing for the rest of your life that you would be happy doing? That's one of the biggest things, because even if the monetary reward wasn't there for me, because I have my mentorship, right? So I work with people on a one-on-one basis. If the monetary reward wasn't even there, I really do enjoy being a part of people's success, so I'm okay with that, right? And I was doing it for such a long period of time that there was no return in my time, but I was still so fulfilled in my life because of how happy I was. So that's one of the biggest things. Find something that you're passionate about, that you can later convert into something that can be potentially like monetary, right? That you can make money off of it. The second thing is, if you have an idea or some specific product or service that you believe that can provide a solution for or value for people, then I think the biggest part is taking action. And if you don't take action, then you become like everyone else. And if you need help taking action, you have the internet. There's so many resources out there that there should be no excuses on why you can't get started. I like putting myself out there and be like, hey, you could reach out to me, and I would be more than happy to be a part of your venture. But now we've gotten so many people that are like, hey, I'm kind of thinking about starting this idea, but they have no plan, they have no structure. It's kind of just like they just want to partner up with me without them having a real idea. So if they really have a plan or service or product that they think is valuable and they know how to execute, they just need either the capital or maybe some connections that I might have or you might have, then reaching out to people that have these connections are, I think, the first step, right? To partnering up with someone to taking action. But not letting that stop you. And then the last thing is consistency. I think with everything that I've pursued in life, with real estate agents, when I was calling them at age 20 and be like, hey, I want to buy my first property, not taking me serious, and there was one that did, and his name is Edgar, and he's the one that I'm partnered up with now. If you do it on a consistent basis, if it's buying your first house, starting your first business, doing something that you love that doesn't even have a monetary reward, or whatever the case may be, consistency, I think, has to be one of the most important things, because if you take action and you surround yourself with people that are experienced in that market and you're consistent about it, you might not end up at the point that you thought you were, like at that exact moment, but I didn't know I was going to end up here, and there's these different pivots that I took in life that has led me to be where I am today. But it's because I was consistent, because I took action, and because I would surround myself with people that shared similar interests and that motivated me.
Definitely. And one of the things I like most about you, man, is you're very open, right? Like, you're open to new ideas, you're open to doing new ventures, you're open to networking with other people, just sharing the same beliefs and sharing the same vision. That's huge.
One of the coolest things is like these young guys, right? They're they're fresh out of high school. They had this idea. I met up with them at Cairns, and we've had 2 meetings already, and we're going to be like now reaching out to potential clients. But these kids came up with this idea on how to formulate a business on I don't know exactly how it's what the actual name of this flipping is, but it's like man, I wish I knew what it was, but it's Clever Investor, if you know who that is. It's his style of real estate investing, and it's when you take when there's a they do a bunch of door knocking, and they get a potential seller that's interested in selling at a reduced price, and then we get an investor and we connect the two, and then we get a commission off of it. So they came up with the whole structure, they're coming up with the whole business plan, but I saw value in their idea, and I didn't know them before then. One of them was a part of my group, and he was a teenager, right? So regardless of how small or minute you might think you are, I mean, I'm always looking for like the next venture, and if it's $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000 that's needed, if I see value in something, then and I see that structure is there and they're willing to work towards it, then I would be more than willing to take that risk with that group of kids or individual, because of I want to be the catalyst for other people's success and invest in what I see value in. And I'm super excited for this upcoming year, because that's only another it's estimated about $10,000 to $15,000 per deal, and even if we close one a month, that's 6 figures. Easily. Over 6 figures. And am I doing anything special? Like, no, I'm just, again, surrounding myself with people that I see value in. That's awesome. I'm excited for you, brother. That's awesome. And so how can people connect with you on social media? So I mean, my Instagram is Ricky Gutierrez, right? So it's double Z, and I think the best way to get in contact with me, I would say email, but not even email. is if you direct message me and they're a part of my group, if they direct message me and they're a part of my Discord group chat, I always respond to every direct message that I get. I really think that I might need to come up with a new email possibly for these ventures,
right?
Because we're getting so many of them. It would be nice to have like a funnel for them,
okay,
and then like I can have someone review them. So by the time that you upload this, I'll have an email set up where they can, you know, reach out to that.
Okay.
And it would be solely just for people that want to not just ask me questions. It doesn't have to do with that. But if you have a venture or a product or service that you have planned and structured out, and you want to potentially partner up with me, then I think with that email would be great.
Sounds good. All right, thanks for your time, man.
Yeah, dude.
Definitely.
Of course. Thank you again for having me.